Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be part 2 of a 3-part series on answering a user's question. And the question was, how do you use the expansion kits to create a user set? And so we've actually, the part 1, we actually installed the expansion kits that we were going to use onto the Roland. So we're using the Alpine and the Orchestral kits. Now, what we're going to do now is actually go through and make edits in the software to actually create a user set of our own. Now, again, this is all experimental. You have to use your own ear to pick what you like. Unfortunately, with the software, you can't hear it before you put it into the accordion. So I'm going to put together some sounds, and we're going to go through this, put them in, and actually install them then into the accordion. So this part of the video is going to be actually creating those. And we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between what is a user program and what are user sets, because they are different and they are confusing. User programs on the FR-1x, there are actually 8 memory locations. Okay, and the memory locations are U1A, U1B, all the way through U4A and U4B. Okay, that gives you 8 of these. Now you select these by pressing the Enter key. Well, it's the user program button, the Enter key. Where is that? Well, it's right here. Okay, it's right here. Okay, that's the user program button. So you press that, your screen is going to say U. And then if you hit register 1, it's going to say U1A. Hit it again, it will say U1B. If you hit 4, it's going to say U4A, U4B. The user programs give you basically 8 switches on the accordion that you can select different instruments as you're playing a quote show. If you're playing for yourself, it might be, the 8 accordion settings that you like. Okay, now what is stored there? What is stored there? And you can take these from any of the sets. So, you have a studio accordion. That's a whole set. You have classic. You have an iFolk. Okay. You have all of these accordions in there where they have all of these things. So, for example, if you happen to like the iFolk Master, you might take that set however you like, whatever registries you like on there. You might have a drum on, you might have something else set, a certain bass. You store that in a user program. So now you're playing here. So now you come up with, you're going to be playing, let's say, Folsom City Blues. That might not be what you want to sound. You might want something where you have maybe a saxophone going, and maybe a musette or something else. Whatever it is, you could put that whole, quote, program in 2A. So all you do is you hit one button and you switch. You switch from one user set to a different user set to maybe one running dual. But you have 8 of these that you can use to set up an actual performance, if you want to call it a performance. I don't play well enough for it to be a performance, but that's what you do. It stores all of that information, so it's one button away. Okay, now that we know what a user program is, what are user sets? Now, a user set, you have 4 locations. Now, the FR-1X actually has 16 different sets to select from. Okay, if you hit the big blue button, okay, the set button, you hit it once and then hit, let's say, register 3 one time, you are now in 3-1. You're in, and I believe that's the iFolk accordion. Okay. Boom, you're there. That's a whole set. That changes everything. That changes your orchestral sounds, your bass, your chord, your organ sound. Everything is changed. Okay, that's a user set, and you have 16 to start with. 4 of those you get to program. So you get to make these sets, and we're going to make one of those sets today. Now, how do you get there? You select these by pressing the blue set or shift switch and then pressing register 4. If you don't know where that is, the set switch is right here. Okay, you press that and then you press 4. So if you press it and hit 3, you're going to 3-1. Hit 3 again, you're at 3-2, 3-3, 3-4. Okay, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4. Here you hit the set switch and then 4, you're in U1. Hit it again, you're in U2, U3, and U4. These are your programmable ones. Now, what do these allow you to store? Everything. Everything is there. So all of a sudden, if register 1, if you know, I don't want a bassoon. I want all of the A's to be a master from different accordion sets or different things. So the first thing you have to do is you go out to your software, you run the software. And again, we've had videos on how to install it, how to use it. When it loads by default, and that's what we're going to use, we're just going to take the default to start with. It will start with a concerto accordion. Those are the settings that are actually in here. So we're going to select bassoon and we're going to hit the edit button. When we do, it's going to come over to here, bassoon. The bassoon is the low reed. Here's the 16-foot reed on. I'm going to leave this on classic, and I'm actually going to turn the volume up, not all the way. I'm going to turn it up about halfway to 20. I'm going to leave the effects and all that as standard. So I'm just not going to change those. Again, for brevity's sake, if you happen to like something, you can play with that on your own. So that's the bassoon edit. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to click on next register. Next register is going to be the bandoneon. We have 2 reeds turned on, the 16 and the 8-foot. All I'm going to do there, I'm going to leave it at classic accordion and put those to 20. We're going to hit next register. So now we're on 1C. Okay. On this one, you have 3 reeds. Okay, you have the 16-foot reed and 2 middle reeds. Again, I just turned these up to 20. Now, if you notice, this one's 20, 20, and this one's 21. You can turn these to wherever you want. I just did it quickly. So I meant to go to 20. If it went to 21, it went to 19. I'm just playing. Okay. You can set these to wherever you want. You can change any of these. Done with that, I want to do 1D. Next register. I'm editing 1D. Again, this one are 3. The high, middle, and low reed. So 16, 8, and 4-foot reed. I simply turned the volume up. Hit next register. This is the master. Now this one I did a little different because I wanted to show you how you can do this. And I'm going to change a couple of the accordion styles. In this case, I wanted to use it as an Alpine. So as an Alpine master. So I changed from classic, and I just simply changed all the reeds to Alpine. And you can mix and match these. Again, listen with your ear. Put it in, try it. If you don't like it, don't use it. Redo it. But I put the Alpine in. Now, you'll notice down here, it's going to give you a warning. It's going to say, attention, you need the right expansion installed on your instrument. Well, we know we've done that from part one. Part one, we put the Alpine Accordion Expansion Kit in and the Orchestral Expansion in. So this should not be a problem. So I turn the volumes up and click next. Now we're going to go to 2B, the organ. I left that as classic. I just giving it a little more oomph than it comes with. Again, I'm meaning all of these to be about 20. I just grabbed it and slid it. It went to 19. It's fine. Okay, next register. The accordion, I changed that to a folk. We're going to have 4 reeds going on this. And I changed it to the iFolk accordion. And again, turned the volumes up. This one I must have grabbed and it went down. This one's not even on, so don't even worry about it. Ones that are off, don't even worry. Click next. 2D, violin. We have 3 reeds. Okay, so we've got the 8-foot and 2 of the 8-foot and 1 of the high or the 4-foot. Turn the volumes up on those. Next, clarinet. That's the 8-foot reed. Same thing. Kept it as classic. All right, musette. I wanted to change the musette, so I changed it from a classic accordion to the Alpine. Kept the same reed configuration and just changed it and turned the volume up. Celeste, kept it as classic, moved those up. Tremolo, kept it as classic, just increased the volume. This one is interesting because when it loads by default, it's going to say piccolo. Piccolo is the 4-foot reed, and that's the only one that's on. That is a high-pitched reed. I didn't want it. I wanted something more like a master. So kind of give me a second master. But what I wanted to do, I actually didn't want to use a 4-foot reed at all. So I changed it, and I changed the name. I just call this one Joe. And I turned on the 16, the 8, the 8 minus, and the 8 plus. Changed those all to iFolk accordions and turned the volumes up approximately halfway from their 0 position, from the standard position. And will be interesting to see what 4A sounds like after we install this on the computer. Next, oboe. I just increased the volume, kept those. All right, that takes care of all of your accordion sounds. Now we're going to go to the orchestral sounds. Now in the orchestral sounds, you have A, B, C, D on all 4. So we're going to go in. It's going to say strings. We're going to go in and we're going to click edit on the strings. And when we do, strings will be here. You click here, you can select. This is a slide. So you can select. Well, I really don't like register 1 sounds at all. So I'm actually going to change all of those. I like a horn section when I'm playing. So if I'm in dual mode, I'd like to add a little bit of horn to the accordion that I'm playing. It just gives it I guess, what can I say, a little bit more of a Cleveland Midwest type style accordion that you might hear. So anyway, for that, I'm going to select trumpet 1. So pull down, slide this down, click on what you want, boom, and there it is. Now, it's also giving you a warning here that you have to have the Orchestral Sounds in there. We loaded Orchestral Sounds into memory location 2. So there's no problem. Again, if you try to take something you don't have, you're not going to have any sounds. And I'm just going to leave everything as normal. Again, for brevity's sake, I'm just taking these. So the volume at 20. Click Next Register. Okay. I'm going to, now we're in 1B. You're editing 1B. I'm going to take trumpet 2. Put it at 20. Trumpet 3. Now in this case, I actually lowered the octave just so you can see what that sounds like. Volume 20. Now, you would think 1D, I'm going to go and take trumpet 4. Well, not exactly. I decided that I wanted something different. So if I'm playing a song, for example, let's say Blue Christmas by Elvis Presley, right? I want a tubular bell. Or if I'm doing any Christmas songs, I might want a tubular bell in there. So I put that in 1D. Again, we'll see how that all sounds. Left everything alone. Let's move on to 2A. 2A, I'm going to have as twin trumpets. I left the volume at standard. Trombone, you can see, and if you wanted it standard, whatever you want, these are what actually, these are standard. French horn is 2C. And then 2D, I've actually lowered it an octave, and I'm doing a bass. In 3A, I did a baritone long. So I took the baritone long from the Alpine set, increased the volume. Register 3B, wanted a tenor sax, so I took tenor sax 2. You can see the settings there. Next register, so 3C, I wanted an alto sax. So I took the alto sax from the software. All right, in 3D, I decided again, if you can't tell, I really do prefer horns. I added the horn, but again, this is from the Orchestral Sounds. And again, it gives you the warning. Anytime you pick something that you have to have an expansion slot, you're going to get this warning. 4A. 4A, I wanted something different, so I selected a harmonica. So if I'm playing something like Folsom City Blues, okay, and I want to get that harmonica sound out of it, or something along those lines, that I now have that. It's 4A for me. Clarinet for 4B. 4C, I took a horn and orchestra. So that's my 4C. And 4D, I decided to take a baritone medium because I have the baritone long. I'm going to take a baritone medium. We have completed all of those. So we've done the accordion section, we have done the orchestral section. Now we need to create the set. And all we're going to do, everything has been saved. All we're going to do is click on create the set, and then we're going to have to give it a name. All of these that we've gone through and edited are there. So everything is here. Tubular bells, twin trumpets, all of those are there. A set, a user set. We simply click on create a set. It's going to come up and it's going to tell you select a file name from 000 to 999. That way it'll be correctly imported. Okay, we'll take their advice. It's saying, what do you want to call it? Okay, and you get to call it whatever you want. If we want to call it 016 and click save, it has now saved it. Again, I've already saved it here, but we're going to save it again. We're going to create it again. And we're going to come out here and we're going to find, here's my C drive, all that stuff. We're going to come out here to my flash drive. Now there's no sets out here. So we're going to create this one. We're going to save it. It's done. It is now on my flash drive. If I open my flash drive, here it is. That's our user set. Notice the difference in size. That's pretty much where we're going to end this video. So if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to my channel. Now this is the end of part 2. In part 3, and actually install these into the Roland FR-1x, and then kind of see what they sound like.